Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I'm one of the travel agents with Marvelous Mouse Travels. We are the agency that runs this Facebook group, along with several others that are focused on different destinations. And we are also Universal's first ever diamond level travel agency. And that just speaks to the volume of vacations that we book with Universal, the great relationship that we have with them, and the expertise in their vacation product that comes along with that. Welcome to Sundays with MMT. This is a weekly live agent panel video series that we do in one of our Facebook groups every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we're happy to be back here this week in our Universal group after having just been in this group last week talking about a different topic. But tonight we are going to be talking specifically about Halloween Horror Nights. We have a team of agents who just returned from a training trip to Universal where they got to experience this event, and so they're really excited to talk to you about it and to kind of give you some of the ins and outs and their top tips of how to enjoy Halloween Horror Nights to the fullest. So we're really excited about that. We also would love to take your questions and interact with you. So if you want to make a comment or ask a question, feel free to do that at any point during the session. We are using a platform called StreamYard to go live this evening, which might ask you to approve it to display your username and profile picture if you want to make a comment. Just know that you can decline that permission and you can still post and interact with us anonymously. So I am joined tonight by a team of our marvelous agents. Ladies, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And if you would take just a couple of minutes to let everybody know your name, how long you've been with the agency, and the best way for people to contact you if they're interested in planning a trip.
My name is Michelle. I am located here in Florida. Next month, I'll be with the agency for 7 years, and you can contact me by my email address, which is on the screen, michelle.bernard@marvelousmousetravels.com.
Hi, I'm Colleen Gomez, and I'm from California. I've been with the agency for a little over a year and a half, and you can reach me at my email address listed below.
Hi, I'm Lisa Magzink. I am actually located in Michigan. You can reach me at my email down below, and I've been with the agency coming up on 2 years.
Hello, everyone. My name is Charlene Resio. I am from Illinois, and I've been with Marvelous Mouse Travels for just over 16 months. You can reach me at charlene@marvelousmousetravels.com.
And again, my name is Ginger. I am a master planner and I've been with the agency just over 4 years. And you can reach out to me at my blog, which you can find at gingermmt.com. So, for everyone who maybe is not familiar with Universal, or maybe is familiar with Universal but has never heard of or participated in Halloween Horror Nights, let's just start with a general overview of what is this event? What is Halloween Horror Nights?
Well, I can tell you what it's not. It's not the other park's not so scary Halloween party because
Not at
it
all.
is scary. I will tell you that. I screamed
Yeah.
a lot, as you
I
can
can
tell from
attest
my
to
voice.
that.
Yes. So Universal, they set up some haunted houses. There's usually about 10 every year, and they actually start working on the following year after the last party that they have. They'll start working on next year's. It's not just haunted houses. They have what they call scare zones. So you'll be walking throughout the park, and they'll have people dressed up to come up to you and try to scare you. They have shows. Some of the rides are open. So it is a ticketed event. So um, it's not like anybody can go to it.
Yeah.
The nice thing about Halloween Horror Nights is, as Michelle said, there is 10 different houses and there is 5 different scare zones. They have several live shows. You have such a variety of options like to see and do, plus merchandise you can purchase. The food is outstanding. There was some really interesting ones this year, like fried zombie brains that we all had. There's so many options, and it is something definitely for the adults in your family or older teens. And as always, reach out to your favorite Marvelous Mouse travel agent to help you with your separate ticket event.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, the other park down the road, there are a lot of theme parks in Florida, and a lot of them do have different Halloween events. This one is marketed as the Florida's premier Halloween event. And I think that that's probably true. And that's probably most evidenced by the fact that this is one of the most popular events for locals. You know, people who live in the Orlando area or very close outside it come to this event. Like it's popular with not just tourists, but really everybody. And, you know, you kind of alluded to my next question, which is the scare level. So how scary are we talking here with Halloween Horror Nights? Who maybe is and is this not appropriate for?
I would say it's not appropriate for young children.
Exactly.
So, you know, Universal is the movies. So they do makeup like the movies. We actually were able to see some of them as we were going through some of the houses, we could see them getting ready. And they do an amazing job on makeup and setting everything up. So for young children, I would say no. Even some adults, Charlene,
Not to name any names
not to
or
name any
anything, but
names, seem to have a lot of screaming and
Jumping and hopping.
And if you were sandwiched between her and another agent who seemed to be scared a lot, like I was, you were being pulled forward and backwards, and screaming coming from all over.
I will say, so I was really expecting to be at that level of being scared, but maybe it's because I was also sandwiched and I could see the group in front. I strategically placed myself not at the very end and not at the front. So it's probably a good thing, but it was fun for me to see everybody and to be able to enjoy looking at the props because they are fantastic. They are live and elaborate sets, like very, very good sets. So I was able to enjoy looking and not quite being so scared like I thought I would be. So give it a shot. You'll either love it or you'll have a visit you never forget.
I will tell you, okay, so to my defense, okay, I am a jump scared person. So when people jump out at me, my reaction is to scream out at them, maybe to yell at them, maybe throw a few curse words at them. It's a reaction. It's not, but they're called, the great part about both the people that are acting inside of the haunted houses as well as in the scare zones, they call them scaracters. So that's what this event is about, right? It's to take you in the movies. For example, there is a house that's called Halloween, right? So you feel like you are living in that movie. Now, absolutely, I'm not really even a haunted house person. I've been to one or two in the past. So to go to 10 in one night, I'm very proud of myself. I did not crawl into a ball. I believe we had an agent that lost her shoe in one of them. We had someone that crawled into the fetal position. That wasn't me. But I do think it absolutely is for more mature people. It was very entertaining. Their theming was spot on. Mm-hmm. Universal again hit it out of the park when it comes to the theming, the costumes. They thought about everything, even with that food, because like Lisa said, the food, they had the zombie brains, but they were, fried cauliflower, right?
Right.
Drenched.
They were delicious.
They had, what was the princess? The princess.
Fresh ground princess. I actually took that home to my kids. And when I gave it to them, they're like, Mom, did you give us like a plate of brains? I'm like, yes, I did.
And they just have really cute theming. Like they had, they had arepas, that are, Argentinian food pockets. They were shaped like coffins. It was very, very well thought out. And it was very entertaining. I'm so glad that I went for sure, because I now can talk about intelligently when my eyes weren't closed, the things that I saw while I was there.
Yeah, and they had like a pizza that was like a skeleton stuffed with pepperoni, and it was really cute. And the show, we actually got to see the show as well. And the show was, I was like, oh, good, we get to sit down. My feet are throbbing. And so I was like, whatever, I don't care what the show is. But the show was great, like fire throwing and yeah.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic. all I can say. It is for a mature audience as well.
Mhm.
So just be aware of that one.
Mhm. And I think it's marketed, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I think they suggest people 13 and older
They
is
do.
probably a good, not to say that they won't let someone younger than that in
But we saw
necessarily, but
younger kids
yeah.
in
Oh,
there.
there was
And
definitely
some
little
of them were,
8-year-olds.
yeah, some of them went through the houses just fine. Your child, I
Right.
guess. And some of them were sleeping on the mom or grandma were sitting outside the house waiting for others to come through, and kid was sleeping on their lap
Right. And the theming of the houses changes
every
from year
year.
to year,
Yes.
right? So even
Every
if
year.
you go to this event every year, you're always going to see something new. Like it's not going to be the same houses
Mhm.
that you're walking through every year, which when for something that is such, depends so heavily on the element of surprise, it would kind of have to be that way, right? Because you won't have a jump scare if you know it's coming.
This was
So,
not my first time, actually. I have been one other time. Actually, before COVID, I met my cousin and his family there. And at that time, they had a Stranger Things house, a
mhm.
Ghostbuster house. And, we're going to move on to this question at some point and we can talk about it. But we did not have express passes when I went that time. And I only got through maybe 4 houses.
Yeah.
So
And that is the perfect segue into the next question, which is what are your top tips for people for doing Halloween Horror Nights? What would you suggest?
express passes are a must,
Yeah.
or the RIP tour. But
Mhm.
I know Colleen and Charlene and I were together and we went through every house. We got through all 10 houses. We went to the show. We rode the mummy. And now we got there about 4:30, and I think we left at 12,
Mhm.
12:30. Some of us stayed. Colleen, I think you stayed.
Just for one more ride and
Yeah.
scare zones. Okay, I did walk to the scare zones and got some great pictures. So it
Yeah.
was a very long night. I will say, be prepared. It's gonna be dependent on your park style, but it was a long day. I think we walked,
7.5 miles, I
yeah,
think,
from
from the
4:30 until midnight plus. So it was a full day of walking, and yes, we were sore after.
So I actually was on the RIP tour this week and I had an absolute blast. We did each house multiple times in the scare zones. With the nice thing about the RIP tour is you have a buffet dinner that you can stop in, which is included, and several different like secret rooms that you can go in and you can have drinks. I could have went for hours and hours and hours. I absolutely love doing that. So
Mhm.
with the RIP tour, it was even more than the express pass. We got to skip the line, go straight to the entrance, and if you wanted to get off, if you wanted to go back in again, you just walk right back around and go right back in. And with that RIP tour, when you go through the first time and you're screaming and you're jumping and you're watching all of your friends scream, when you get to go back through that second or third or fourth time, like we did with the weekend this year, one of the houses, you actually kind of get an idea where the scare actors are at, and you get to really stand there and look at the sets and see how much amazing detail is put into each and every house.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Yeah.
One of the tips that I learned about, and again, another reason that it's so great that we are allowed to go to these trainings and invited to come and see this, we were able to walk through the houses with some of the Universal sales team. And so, for example, Halloween Horror Nights, right? I don't know if we talked about this aspect. It is separately ticketed, but it starts at 6 p.m. So
Mhm.
as they're ushering the guests that have been there during the daytime out, you think that the event starts at 6, and they do have like a holding area for you to wait to go into. But what I didn't realize is that if you have separate park admission for that day, you can actually start queuing. You could start getting in line for certain houses before that 6 o'clock time. So what we ended up doing is we got to the park at 4:30. The first queue opened up for Hell Block Horror, which is the closest to the entrance. And we got into the queue at 4:45. We got into the house at 5:15. We were out by 5:30, and Halloween Horror Nights hadn't officially started yet. So we had already got one house down, and then we went directly into the second line, which was Halloween. So they really, they know what they're doing. And had I not gone to that event, I probably wouldn't have been able to tell my clients, hey, if you have a pass for that day, go ahead and save yourself 2 hours, right? Because that then took time off of our end, because otherwise we would have been there until 2. And like Michelle said, because we had the express passes, because we had people with us that knew what they were doing, we were able to go through the house and home by just after midnight. And so I think that, again, being able to talk to an agent who knows what they're talking about, who's been through the experience, who can suggest that you either do the RIP tour or the express passes, invaluable time saving for sure.
Yeah.
Also knowing how to navigate the entrances and just knowing the park and which one to try to hit first to help you maximize your efficiency in the queues.
Yes, definitely. And, I will say too that, you need to be aware of a couple of things with this event, is that it is only in Universal Studios. It's not in the Islands of Adventure side. And so if you are traveling at a time and maybe you're not going to do Halloween Horror Nights, Universal Studios is going to close early on the night that there are events. And so you definitely want that park to park ticket so that you can, walk over to Islands of Adventure and finish out your park day there, and many times people show up for their trip and they don't know that, they don't realize maybe they have a base ticket and they were going to do Universal Studios on the day of an event, and you're not going to get your full park day that day. And so, that's something that, again, your agent can walk you through. And also too, just realizing that the express pass that you have for this event is separate from the express pass that comes with your Premier hotel stay. So if you're staying at Royal Pacific or Hard Rock Hotel or Portofino Bay, those express passes are only good for regular park hours. So they're not going to extend into this event. That is going to be a separate purchase. But I think definitely one that's well worth it, which is kind of what I'm hearing you guys say too.
Absolutely. I mean, it was crazy to see how long people were waiting. And, people come and they spend money on this event and they want to get as much out of it as they can. For some people, it's a one trip and done. They can't make it back for a long time. So if you're going to do it, and it's like, some people think it's an upsell, but it's really genuinely us saying, hey, this is how you're going to have the best experience, the most memorable experience. And it's just helpful.
I don't think you realize where the queues of these lines are and how long they are until you're walking past them, because they're in the back lots. They're not, you might start at a ride entrance and go through that queue, but you're ending up in a back lot and the lines just keep going and going. And like I said, I think it was 2018 when I went, we only got through maybe 4 houses and watched the show and we were done. We couldn't go anymore because the lines were that long. So Express Pass is a big game changer.
Absolutely. Totally agree. And we've mentioned a couple of times the value of having an agent. And that is something that, I want to kind of end on that note and just bring up the fact that it doesn't cost you any extra to book your Universal vacation with one of our agents versus just going on Universal's website and booking it yourself. But when you book it with us, you are talking to people who have been trained to be experts in these vacation products and who have these firsthand experiences like these ladies have shared, with you tonight. So as a consumer, it's really kind of like why would you not book with an agent? Because you're not giving up control over your vacation. We can handle as much or as little of the planning for you as you want, but you do have someone in your corner to kind of give you that firsthand insider knowledge of how to get the most out of the parks. Well, let's see. I'm looking at our comment section and I'm not seeing any questions that have come through right now. So if you are catching this after we are no longer live, just know that it's not too late to ask a question. You can still pop those questions in the comment section and we are happy to come back and address those for you. We do monitor these videos for comments after the fact. But we thank you all so much for watching with us tonight. We really appreciate it. If you would like to get more information or reach out to one of our agents and you joined us a little bit late, all of the contact information is back at the beginning of the video. But we thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you again really soon for another episode of Sundays with MMT. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.